Hey, what's up, everybody? This is GeekyAviseq once again from here in Dallas, Texas, and today I am bringing you the review of the Moto G Power. This is also known as the Moto G8 Power. For some reason, Motorola here in the US decided to drop the version number for its G series line of phones and instead call them Moto G Power 2020, as well as the other phone is the Moto G Stylus 2020. So these two phones are very similar in specs, and they were launched together with a little bit of difference, which I will come to in a while. And the reason why I'm doing this review today is because when I was looking at these phones, especially the reviews online, either in the tech sites or on YouTube, I actually found quite a bit of good reviews. But when I got the phone and wanted to use this as my daily driver, I faced some severe performance issues, for which led me to go back to my daily driver, and I couldn't use this phone. So I decided to make this reviews to make you guys aware of the performance issues of this phone. Initially, I thought that you might be a problem with just this unit. I might have just received a dud, but one of my friends also bought the same device, and he has very similar experience in terms of performance with this phone. This is not to say that this is a crappy phone, but overall, this is very different than what the performance of this phone that I found was very different than what the reviews had mentioned. Now let's talk about pricing. In September 2020, this phone is priced as $249, which is the unlocked carrier-free version of from Motorola.com. Frequently goes on sale for $239. The other phone, its brother, which is the Moto G Stylus, is $299 and frequently goes on sale for $279. If you get these two phones from any of the carriers, then depending on what promo is available at that point in time, the price can vary a lot, but usually carrier phones always comes with some kind of a catch. The phone that you see here is one of the carrier promo phones. So I got this from Consumer Cellular from Target. So this was on sale for $129. So after taxes and all, I paid about 135, like less than $140. So since I was able to get this phone for $140 versus its retail price of $250 plus taxes, I decided to give it a go. And I was wanted to go for the Moto G Power because I didn't wanted to use the stylus, and I thought I could use the extra juice in the battery. So in terms of specifications, this phone has 5000 milliamp hour battery versus the G Stylus, which has a slightly smaller 4000 milliamp hour battery. But that has a stylus if you need that. Also, this phone has a 16 megapixel main camera versus the 64 megapixel main camera on the Moto G Stylus. Also, in terms of internal storage, this is 64 gigs of internal storage. The Moto G Stylus has 128 gigs of internal storage. Apart from these three differences, the phones are exactly identical in terms of the screen size and every other feature. So let's take a quick look at the specifications before I get into the detailed review. So this is a 6.4 inch full HD plus display with 399 pixels per inch. It's powered by the Snapdragon 665 processor, 4 gigs of RAM, 64 gigs of internal storage, which is also expandable via micro SD card slot up to 512 gigs. It has a rear mounted fingerprint scanner, a 3.5 headphone jack, a USB-C charging port that supports up to 10 watt fast charging or turbocharging as Motorola likes to call it. In terms of cameras, 16 megapixel f1.7 main camera, 8 megapixel f2.2 wide angle camera, a 2 megapixel f2.2 macro camera, dual tone LED flash. In terms of the front camera, it is a 16 megapixel f2.2 camera. Now, in terms of software, it's running Android 10, and I was pretty surprised for being a Motorola. It is running Android 10 with July 2020 security patch. If you plug in a headphone, wired headphone in the headphone jack, this does also have an FM radio, so you should be able to listen to that. Motorola says that this phone is made up of Series 6000 aluminum, but it feels kind of plastic. I think the The frame is made up of metal and the back must be plastic. So the first thing that you would notice when you pick up the phone is due to the weight of this phone, the nice heft that it has due to the 5000 milliamp hour battery. This is not the slimmest phone there. Let me just give you a quick view of the phone from different angles. Let me just wipe down. It's a fingerprint magnet. Let me just quickly wipe it down. I think the color here, it's only available in one color. It's called midnight black. It's really hard to get rid of the smudges. So there you go, how that looks. It's not textured, it's very glossy, but if you look close, there's kind of a stripes inside it. Looks pretty cool, I think. And here you go, hole punch on the front, and then all the ports here. So and let the camera focus. So USB-C speaker grill. Okay, so this also does have dual stereo speakers. Now let's talk about the performance. So the issue that I faced with this phone was, I looked at like a lot of reviews on YouTube or different tech channels, and everybody said that there was a really good phone for the price and all that. So obviously, for $150 that I paid for the phone versus $250, I think the conclusions would be different in terms of its performance. But considering that this is a $250 phone or even a $150 phone, what I felt was I was trying to buy something for my home on Facebook Marketplace. So I was messaging the seller, and then I was on my way. So I had plugged this phone on my car, so Android Auto was active, and then he had some change of plan, so he messaged me, and then I was responding to him. So what happened was the phone suddenly got really laggy. Switching between Android Auto and Facebook Messenger was like painfully slow. And then what happened was that it eventually got so slow that the phone rebooted itself, and then the reboot time on this phone is pretty long. It probably takes a minute or so, and once it reboots, it shows this weird message where phone is starting, and it's the whole minute before I had to pull over because that place was new, and I was using Google Maps and I didn't know which way to go. So I had to, pull over and wait for the phone to completely, reboot and come back on before I could, proceed with my, my destination. And then the other funny thing is, like, if I'm not using the phone pretty much, as you can see, it's very, fluid, right? But for some reason, when I need the phone, it will start stuttering, and then this goes the performance issue, and it might be that I don't even have to use a lot of apps open. So I might have Instagram open, I might have Facebook Messenger open, I might have text, and then if I'm trying to somebody sent me a message in Spanish, I don't speak Spanish, I'm just copy pasting that into Google Translate and trying to translate it. And sometimes, all the apps would lag, and even the clipboard would take few seconds for it to show up before I can paste. So which was really annoying and frustrating, to a point where I was, forced to not use this device as a daily driver, and I pulled out my SIM card and put it back on my Galaxy S20. So that's not something that I didn't see any of the reviews mention. But I just wanted to, that was the most disappointing part of this phone. I had the G7 Power from last year. I even had the regular G7, and I don't think I faced that kind of performance issue. I even had the G6, and they were lower spec phones, and they performed reasonably well for the specifications. But I was pretty surprised, even with the Snapdragon 665, 4 gigs of RAM, 5000 milliamp hour battery, 64 gigs of internal storage, Android 10, this phone stutters so much. And this is not just my unit, my friend's unit does the same. So it's not like this particular device is defective or anything like that. It's just how this phone is. So in terms of cameras, Motorola is not known for exceptional photos. No exception here, but definitely the camera models on here is a step up from the previous generations. There is quite a bit of improvement. But I would recommend trying just download Gcam or Google Cam or Pixel Camera and install it here. And once using the Gcam, the pictures in good lighting conditions like outside with broad daylight, the pictures were really good. Like they were almost 90% of the picture quality that I get from my Galaxy S20. In low light condition, definitely the camera suffers, but again with the G cam it makes it a lot more usable, so your exposure is much better if you're using G cam versus the native Motorola cam that already comes with the phone. In terms of video, there's not a whole lot of difference recording the video through the Gcam or built-in Motorola cam. But if you use the Gcam, then definitely the exposure on the video is slightly better. Audio quality is okay. So if I'm shooting videos with this, I would say it's serviceable with good lighting conditions. It's bad if it's low light conditions. The rear camera can do 4K at 30 frames per second, and it can do full HD at 120 frames per second. The front camera can only go as high as full HD at 30 frames per second. In terms of battery life, it's a humongous 5000 milliamp hour battery. Motorola claims 3-day battery life. I am a very heavy user and I was able to actually get 2 days of battery life. So I think for normal users, you can easily get 3 to 4 days of battery life if you're not on your phone constantly. I haven't played any games, so perform and regular apps like Facebook, Instagram, Facebook Messenger, Android Auto, that made this phone stutter a little bit. So I didn't even try playing any games, so I cannot talk about the performance, and I was not very happy about the performance. In terms of the audio quality, audio is pretty loud. It has does have dual stereo speakers as I have mentioned, and audio quality through the headphone jack is also fine. In terms of phone quality, call quality, I never had any issues with Motorola phones as such, except if you are on Sprint. When some of the Motorola phones upgraded to Android 10, they had issue. They lost LTE and VoLTE, and most of the time they went back to 2D, 2G, 3G. But no such issues with this. I was able to test this phone with different carriers after I unlocked it, and all of them work flawlessly. There's no performance-wise in terms of call quality, speaker quality, audio quality. Everything has been great. So that's pretty much everything that I wanted to mention about this phone, and you can see the camera samples here and then judge for yourself how the picture qualities are. I'm not uploading the video qualities because as I told you, in good lighting condition the videos are just okay, but if it's in low light conditions the videos are not good at all. I mean, I wouldn't be shooting anything with this phone. For $150, is it a good phone? Yes, if the performance, if Motorola can actually solve the performance issues, it's a good phone at both prices, like 150 or 250. But at this current state, if this stutters so much, I would recommend something Pixel 3a or even a Pixel 4a or even some of the older flagships. If you are going to spend 250 bucks, then I would say you should be able to pretty easily find some used flagships from older flagships, and I think those will perform better. For example, there are some iPhones that you can get for pretty cheap. Like if you want to get into some of the carrier deals. So I think the iPhone 7 was free at Cricket, and the iPhone 8 was $100 at Cricket. Those two phones are much better in performance overall compared to this, except for the bigger battery on this one. Hey guys, that's pretty much everything for this review on here. So if you like this video, don't forget to like and share this video. Also, if you want to subscribe to my channel, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon so that you get notified each time I upload a new video. Thank you everyone for watching this video, and I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you. Bye bye.